Okay, greetings everybody. So here's the rant I was telling about in my live stream, and I probably will post this on my Baked Beans Farms and Prepping because YouTube may or may not like it. I'll try to keep it calm, but a couple things going on this weekend. I figured I'd just throw my opinion out there just like everybody else's. Not that it means much, but I went and looked at my Twitter account, which I haven't popped in probably 3 years. Figured, we got a new owner, and there's a lot of people have been saying they're going to get out of there, going to do this, going to do that. And we'll see if it's changed. Well, it hasn't. I don't know if you go on Twitter often or if you've given it up or whatever, but Twitter hasn't changed since 3-4 years ago. You got the same people there spewing the same garbage. Whatever side you want to be on, there is so many misconceptions on it that its words should be misconceptions. Any type of news that pops up, so the same characters are saying, "Oh, it's their fault. It's you caused this because you're this. You caused this because you believe in this. This is a prime example because of that." And God, they're all so full of it. The politicians are the worst. Whatever side they're on. And then you got your anti-gun people that have no clue about what guns are about and what violence is about. This latest one with the club and the guy on there shooting, he never should have been free, should have been in jail. Last June, he was arrested for a bomb threat to his family. Had a standoff in that. Why was he free? He was free because the government makes laws for thee, but not for me. And I was trying to explain this to this Shannon Watts. She's one of the anti-gun ones that got no clue. This is why we should have gun laws. No, we had laws. He shouldn't have been out. He should have been in jail. But because his father, uncle, grandfather, however it was part of the elite class, and I'm going to call the elite class anybody that's in politics for a long time or anybody who's extremely wealthy. It is what it is. And they don't follow the same rules that we have to follow. And making laws to restrict law-abiding citizens never protects law-abiding citizens. Now, I won't give a shout out to the club patrons that took that piece of garbage down. Probably should have just took them out, but you had a few brave people that rose to the occasion and probably saved a lot of lives. And my shout out to you. But I'm looking at Twitter and I've got politicians that say they're Republicans and they're not. They're Democrats. They'll even say, "Well, no, I'm a progressive Republican." No, you're a Democrat. You vote Democrat. You have Democrat values. Be honest with yourself and just say you're a Democrat. It's okay. You can do that. And we got other ones on the other side of the aisle that, just try to push the extreme. So what Twitter is doing is they're taking the actions of the 0.001% and they're trying to apply laws onto the rest of us because of their action. Stop doing that. Okay, you want to protect the kids in schools? Don't sit there and hire 87,000 more IRS agents and arm some of them. Take that money and hire 87,000 veterans and allow them to go to school concealed. They can be acting like they're a janitor, whatever. But I guarantee you, once you stop a few of these pieces of garbage right in their tracks, it'll slow down. Gun-free zones is an invitation for these sick, evil, twisted individuals to do great violence. Stop presenting them with their target. Don't tell me you care about children when your whole thing was hiring more agents to collect taxes. Give me a break. And don't sit there, they're just doing it to replace people who are retiring. They don't need a law to do that. Stop being that naive or stop being a bot for the party. It just really upsets me that we care for our children, but we don't. We have the opportunity to make our schools safer, but we do not. Restricting law-abiding citizens' right to protect themselves, it does nothing for the schools. Nothing. Hiring 87,000 more IRS agents to collect taxes from the middle class and lower class, because that's who they're going after. They don't go after the rich. The rich have lawyers. All right? Doesn't make our schools safer. And either you care about lives or you don't. You guys talk out of both sides of your you know what all the time. And then today on my live stream, got the trolls. God, kids, you need to get a life. Are you seriously thinking that you have any value when you come to the conversation and say stupid stuff like that? And you think you're fooling anybody because you've got 6 or 7 accounts? That all of a sudden all these people, oh yes, you should feel this way? Bite me. Get out of the basement, go in and earn yourself a living. I just imagine that one that was on today was about 14 years old, down in his mama's basement. Mom just say, well, he's on the computer, he's out of my hair. I'm sorry your daddy went to get milk when you were 3 and never came back home. That's how I see you. So, and Twitter is just full of trolls. It's just full of them. And people they think their opinion is the godsend of all of it. And I was on there for about an hour yesterday, and I'm like, yep, that's why I got off Twitter. So I know it's been kind of a rant day. I know John Preparation had a rant. People just so confused, looking for answers when you should just be looking for living. All right, the world's not going to end today, but there are probably some things you should do to make your part of the world safer. All right, gun laws do not make you safer. Gun-free zones do not make you safer. All right, sitting there and allowing yourself to be a victim does not make you safer. Voting for the same people that are restricting your rights does not make you safer. Stop doing that. All right, stop voting a straight ticket. Stop watching I don't care if it's Fox or CNN or MS, stop watching them. They're propaganda channels. Dig in to see why they're doing it. When somebody does something, there's always the reason it's obvious the way they did it, and then there's always another reason. Look for that other reason. My daughter was saying that their admiral in charge of the Nimitz, told them about a civilian bombing that was actually done during President Trump's, time in office. And I said, well, honey, that's happened with every president. Every president has had a incident where innocent people got killed. That's war. I said, but you have to ask, why was he sharing that information? Because when I was in, if the post commander would have shared information like that, he wouldn't have had the post anymore. There is some things you share with the troops, and there's some things you don't. So what was his agenda? She goes, I don't know what I mean. You have to understand what was his agenda. Why was he sharing this? There was an agenda to doing it. There's always an agenda. And when people sit there and allow certain sort of information to come out, the leaks, there's way too many of those. There's an agenda behind it. Identify the agenda and see if that, lines up with what you want. If it doesn't, vote the damn people out. Last election just went pretty much the way I figured it did. There's too many people to sit back and let things happen. And if you continue to let things happen, we're going to be no different than those third world countries. I got a guy on Twitter who's supposed to be a U.S. Navy combat vet. I'm sorry, dude. Navy hasn't been in combat since Vietnam. Maybe you're on a ship and launch some missiles, unless you're a CB. You're not. You say no one has to have an AR-15. Well, any combat vet that's been overseas and has fought for people's rights against a restrictive government would never say anything that damn stupid. What he said was stupid, and I let him know it. And it says, I doubt you were a combat vet. I really do. You can't be that stupid, or you were that one boy in the platoon that we knew was just going to have some things bad happen to him. If you don't want to have an AR-15, that's fine. It's not an assault weapon, it's a rifle. Not any different than a Ruger 22 I used to shoot when I was a kid. All right, don't want one? Fine. Don't tell me I can't have one. All right, understand what it's for. It's not for hunting. It's so this government never becomes a hostile, restrictive government. It's what the Second Amendment was for. You lose the Second Amendment, you're going to lose the First. And you're already losing the First as it is right now. People, you need to wake up. Stop voting straight party tickets and start looking at your candidates. And when they've been there for 40 years, they're not for you. They never were for you. They're for the people that kept them in there for 40 years. So that's the end of my route. I will put this on my community page on my other channel, and then I will post it on my farms and prepping. And maybe if it doesn't go bad, I'll repost it on my Scottish Fitness one. So everybody remember, get outside, enjoy the weather, enjoy your life, buy some extra food, buy some extra water, get involved in your community, just get involved in life. All right, in front of the TV or in front of the Xbox is not life. All right, so everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. For those of you in the States, for everybody else, have a wonderful, wonderful week.